Whenever talk begins about a possible pro version of a camera that already feels highly capable, it tends to create two very different reactions at the same time. On one hand, there is excitement. People imagine refinement, better performance, and that final layer of polish that turns a strong product into something truly exceptional. On the other hand, there is hesitation. Viewers and creators alike start to wonder whether the timing actually makes sense, or whether the current model already delivers so much that a pro version would feel unnecessary. This tension sits at the heart of the discussion around a potential DJI Action 6 Pro, and it is exactly why the topic refuses to fade away. The DJI Action 6 is not a minor update or an incremental refresh. It represents a noticeable shift in what DJI expects from its flagship action camera. With the introduction of a sensor measuring over 1.1 inches in square format, DJI moved well beyond the traditional limits of the action camera category. This sensor alone changes how the camera behaves in real-world shooting, particularly when light conditions are unpredictable. Add to that a variable aperture lens, something rarely seen in this segment, and suddenly the Action 6 begins to operate more like a compact professional tool than a simple action cam. The situation became even more interesting when DJI pushed a firmware update that unlocked 8K video recording. That update blurred the line even further. What was once considered a pro-only feature became available through software, instantly elevating the base model into territory that older pro-branded cameras once occupied. For many creators, this was the moment when expectations shifted. If the standard model already offers a large sensor, variable aperture, and 8K video, what exactly is left for a DJI Action 6 Pro to deliver? In practical terms, the current Action 6 already offers clear benefits in everyday use. The variable aperture allows shooters to maintain better exposure control when moving between bright outdoor environments and darker interiors. It reduces reliance on heavy ND filters and allows the camera to adapt more naturally to changing light. The larger sensor contributes to cleaner files, smoother gradients, and more flexibility in post-production, especially when color grading. These are not small advantages. They directly impact how confident creators feel when they press record and how much work is required afterward. Because of this, the question becomes unavoidable. If you already own an Action 6, what would realistically justify upgrading to an Action 6 Pro right now? This is not a question driven by speculation alone, it sits at the center of the entire conversation. A Pro label carries expectations, and those expectations must be met without undermining the value of the existing flagship. Despite this, the idea of a DJI Action 6 Pro continues to circulate, and not without reason. Some well-respected voices in the creator community believe strongly that DJI still has plans for a Pro variant. One name that often comes up is Photo Ravs, a creator known for a reliable track record when it comes to DJI product predictions. His confidence has added weight to the discussion, causing many people to pay closer attention to subtle signals from DJI's release patterns and development cycles. However, confidence alone is not enough to build a convincing case. To truly understand whether a DJI Action 6 Pro makes sense, we need to look carefully at what it could offer without stepping on the toes of the Action 6 itself. That balance is critical. DJI has always been cautious about internal competition, and releasing a Pro model that feels too close to the standard version could confuse buyers and weaken the lineup. One of the most commonly discussed areas of potential improvement is lens flexibility. Many creators hope that if an Action 6 Pro does arrive, it will maintain full compatibility with existing accessories, including macro lenses and other add-ons already designed for the Action 6. This kind of continuity matters more than it might seem. Action camera users often build entire workflows around small accessories, mounts, and optical attachments. Breaking that ecosystem would create frustration rather than excitement. Another topic that frequently appears in discussions is sensor size. Some users are hoping for a move to a full 1-inch sensor in the DJI Action 6 Pro. On paper, this sounds like a significant upgrade. A larger sensor could offer better dynamic range, improved low-light performance, and cleaner slow-motion footage. In real-world use, these benefits would be most noticeable in challenging lighting situations, such as dusk, dawn, or rapidly changing environments during travel. It could also improve consistency when shooting high frame rates, where smaller sensors tend to struggle. Auto exposure behavior is another area where many users feel refinement is still possible. While the Action 6 performs well, some creators would like to see smoother exposure transitions, more reliable face priority metering, and fewer visible HDR artifacts. These improvements may sound subtle, but they have a major impact on everyday shooting. Better auto exposure means less time fixing clips in post and more confidence when relying on automatic settings in fast-moving situations. All of these potential upgrades sound appealing, and none of them are unreasonable. Yet when viewed together, they reveal something important. None of these changes feel revolutionary. They are refinements rather than reinventions. This is where the timing question becomes crucial. DJI has a long history of spacing out major releases, and the company rarely rushes new flagship models to market. When DJI introduces something truly new, it usually wants that leap forward to be obvious. Looking at DJI's past release patterns, most major action camera announcements tend to land toward the end of the year. This timing aligns with broader industry cycles and allows DJI to position new products as clear generational upgrades. Based on that history, the most realistic window for a DJI Action 6 Pro would fall somewhere between April and June of 2026. That would place it as a mid-cycle release rather than a full generational shift. However, if that window passes without an announcement, the narrative changes quickly. Attention would naturally move toward the Osmo Action 7, which would better fit DJI's usual Q4 release rhythm. At that point, the idea of an Action 6 Pro would feel less like a missing piece and more like a concept that DJI chose to skip altogether. From a business perspective, releasing an Action 6 Pro too soon carries real risks. The Action 6 is still a strong seller, and introducing a Pro version prematurely could slow momentum by making buyers hesitate. DJI has historically been careful about protecting its flagship products, and it rarely undercuts them without a clear strategic reason. This leads to an uncomfortable but honest conclusion. The Action 6 already delivers many of the features people once demanded from a Pro model. The variable aperture alone fundamentally changes how the camera handles exposure in the real world. When combined with 8K video support through firmware, the distinction between base and Pro becomes surprisingly thin. Without a truly new technology to introduce, a DJI Action 6 Pro could feel more like a Polish past than a necessary evolution. Because of this, DJI may decide that it is smarter to hold those refinements for the Action 7. By doing so, the company could present a clearer leap forward, rather than splitting improvements across closely related models. This approach would also simplify the lineup and make purchasing decisions easier for consumers. Thanks for watching. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know whether you would prefer a refined DJI Action 6 Pro or a bold leap forward with the Action 7. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more in-depth discussions like this.